If you're over 50 and you've brought into the fact that, hey, I'm old and can't work out anymore, you might want to take a listen to this. This is my story. So at 57, I'd already bought into the fact that I was old. I couldn't work out. Well, I could go to the gym, but I really couldn't do anything other than a few challenges and a few light weights and then bugger off. I mean, I knew a few people, so it was nice to go and see them, but lifting heavy, nah, it was too late, right? Well, wrong. You know, if you think you can't build strength and become the person that you want to be once you're over 50, stop listening and watching the other videos of people that say you can't. You know, and they call you seniors. I can't believe the amount of videos I used to watch around, hey, once you're a senior, you shouldn't work out anymore. You shouldn't do this. You need to only work out twice a week. They'll have simple exercises like just getting off the ground, sitting on a seat and just sort of standing up. And I was starting to buy into that. And I wonder how many of us actually do, buy into that space. And once you start watching one video, there's another video, because of the algorithm, it starts feeding you with the same noise. So, I mean, my YouTube feed was just full of senior exercises. Only taking it easy, be gentle. You're not what you used to be. You can't work out 5 days a week. Well, I reckon that, while in some cases that may be true, I reckon for the majority of us, it's not true, and we need to stop buying into it. There were a couple of guys at the gym who were around my age, and they were strong. So I started to talk to them and build up a bit of a rapport and watch them train heavy. And they used to watch me train, come in, do 100 push-ups or 100 dips and fly around the place, but laugh at me. Not really laugh at me, but appreciate the fact that I was there, but they would question me, oh, what are you doing? Why aren't you lifting hard and heavy? I didn't really have any answers other than the fact that I didn't think I could anymore. I didn't think I could be that strength, or that person who had the strength that, at 20 years old, I did have. So you got to be careful what you buy into, right? It's not always good. It's not always true. So back in September, I started working out hard. I'd connected with a bloke called Brendan, and he helped me believe that I could be strong again. I could lift heavy. And I was working out with him most days, getting up early, working hard, and just breaking records. Well, my records anyway. I was nowhere near what Brendan was doing, but the fact that I was sort of logging and taking note of the effort and the energy and his attitude towards working out, and it gave me a really good base. That gave me a really good mindset. And is it mindset, or is it the fact that you are getting older? So I started doing a little bit more research around training, mindset, and drawing back into how I was when I was 20, and then looking at sleep patterns, food, and supplements, and how that all contribute to me getting back to a point where I was strong again. So when I started back in September, I was working with Brendan and I was doing about 15 to 20 grams of creatine a day, because I'd listened to a few videos out there that were explaining the benefits of creatine, not only from a muscle point of view, but also from a fatigue point of view, from the afternoon slump point of view. So they were saying that creatine not only helps with muscles, but also helps with your brain and keeping you active in the afternoon. So basically, the way you think about it, or how they explain it, is once a muscle has used it, it goes up into your brain, and it helps your brain stay active. So, and once I'd started doing that loading with the creatine, I'd noticed that my strength levels were growing. They weren't massive like Brendan, but they were getting up there. I was breaking my own benchmarks, and then getting into the top 5% for my age and body weight. But my afternoons felt better too. I wasn't slumping. I wasn't drained, because not only was I taking creatine, but I was also starting to take care of my food choices. I mean, they weren't as disciplined as they were when I got into the shredding, but it was a lot more chicken, a lot less chippies, no drinking at all, because I'd given up alcohol. So that was beneficial as well. And I was also making sure that I had an alarm set at 9. So I'd be in bed by 9, sleep by 9:30, and I'd also, prior to September, probably back in May, I'd started writing a journal, a morning journal, and I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to write the journal before I went to the gym, then going to the gym, and then going to work. So while most people were fast asleep, tucked away in their beds, I was up at 4 journaling, and the journal was about life and gratitude and motivation and mindset. So I started journaling and listening to people who would support my journey. It was almost like I had a lot of coaches around me. One was fitness. So in the morning, I'd listen to a fitness coach, right, about training, and I'd listen to a nutritional coach around food. I'd listen to a creatine coach around supplements and creatine usage. I would listen to the mindset coach. So I'd be prepared for the day, because I'd had almost like a mentoring session before I'd even started my workout session. So there I was. Well, I'd changed so much. I'd surrounded myself with exercise, with nutrition, with everything on my side, so I could become strong again. I could become a better person at the end of the day, and that's what I wanted to achieve. I kind of felt like I had a lot more to offer, and there were things in my life that had caused me to think I couldn't do it. Like, it's almost like the imposter syndrome. So while I haven't got through all of that, I am a totally different person than I was a year ago. And that sort of comes down, what does it come down to? It comes down to everything I've done since that change. Not only did I give up alcohol, I started exercising. I started doing things that were good for me and my body. I started looking after my family. I started looking after what I needed to do at work. Yeah, so all those things fell into place. Not really fell into place, but I put them in place so I could succeed at doing what I wanted to do and wanted to achieve, because I told people about what I was doing. So I needed to make sure I actually delivered on everything that was happening, which was negative, and turn it into all these positive things. So before I wrap this up, one of the things that I've found interesting today is when I went to the gym, it was around 7 o'clock. I took my daughter down there. But the connections and the people down there that I know now they've given me the confidence, and I've now got the confidence to go up and talk to people about what they're doing at the gym. It's the connection that I'm really enjoying. I must have shaken, I don't know, or had 12 conversations with people today at the gym. Some that I see most days, and they were talking about what they were doing this weekend. Some of them were playing sports after, some were doing cleaning after, and they all had this mission. But the first thing they had to do, and this is the connection, is they had to look after themselves first. And once they looked after themselves, they found that the rest of the day was easy. So where's this going? Where's this video? What's the purpose of this video? I think the purpose of the video is to share just my journey. I'm just traveling through this space. I'm not sure where it's going. But if you're not sure, and if you've bought into the fact that you can't be strong again because you're over 50, well, have another think about it. Put some things in place, like I did, so you can be strong again. Mindset. Change your mindset. Change what you're eating. Think about the nutritional side of it. Watch YouTube videos to guide you. To be guided by, not just swiped by a feed from Google, or YouTube. Just be careful who you listen to and what you listen to. Because if I can get the strength, if I can be who I am today by putting these in place, anyone can. And before I go, be kind to yourself. It does take time, and I discovered that. It takes a long time to get this right, and I'm by nowhere near right, but I'm heading in the right direction. All right. So if you want to listen to more of my journey, and it is a journey of many things, meaning it's a journey of the alcohol and how it affected my life negatively, and what event, what happened, and how giving up drinking has been the best thing that I've ever done. The mindset of being strong over 50, absolutely possible. And I reckon I'm stronger than I was when I was lifting weights in my 20s. And shredding, I went through a shred, and I'm still doing a recomp at this point. I started a shred in January, and if you want to watch what I went through using AI to help me shred, well, subscribe and listen in. I'm just hoping I can help someone who's struggling with any of those things that over 50s might be struggling with. All right, that's it for now. See you, bye.